Welcome to Fearless with Jason Whitlock. I am Jason Whitlock, your host. Oh my God, can you feel it? Can you feel it? What a time to be alive. We are just, let me count. I got my hands. Today is Friday, so Saturday, Sunday, 4 days away. 4 days away from the Great Awakening coming into full bloom. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so optimistic. I'm so confident. And we got another sign that the wind is at our back. We got another sign that the left and the Democrats and Kamala Harris, they're melting down. Every day, there's just more good news and more good news. And if you read the tea leaves, it's so clear that we're about to win in a significant way, in perhaps a landslide. None of this is being said to make you overconfident. Don't any of you dare think about not voting today, Tuesday, Monday, whenever you can. But holy cow, it feels so good to have the wind at our back and to see these guys in full meltdown mode. LeBron James made a fool of himself last night and yesterday, and we will talk about it today. Before I do, though, I do want to remind you guys what I need you to do. Go to fearlessmission.com and become a subscriber and a genuine supporter of what we're doing here at Fearless. This is the greatest thing you can do to support me and this show is go to fearlessmission.com, hit the subscribe button, sign up for a subscription, use the promo code Fearless40, save $40 on your yearly subscription. You'll get access to everything that I'm doing, the extra Fearless content, everything that goes on at the Blaze, you'll have access to that. I need you to do it. Go to fearlessmission.com. The wind is at our back, and that means we got to keep running harder and harder and harder and faster and faster and faster, because we can break records, and we can break narratives, and we can break the evil people that have been destroying this country for the last 60 years. Did you catch LeBron James yesterday with his endorsement of Kamala Harris? And I'm a little bit reluctant to call it an endorsement because he really didn't endorse Kamala Harris. He just smeared and tried to assassinate and defame Donald Trump. Let's play. LeBron James puts out a video or a tweet about how the choice seems simple for me and my kids. What are we even talking about here? When I think about my kids and my family and how they will grow up, the choice is clear to me. Vote Kamala Harris. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. When his kid, he's got a kid in the NBA, he's got another kid that's like a junior or senior in high school, and he's got a young daughter. When my kids grow up, your kids have grown up, LeBron. But he doesn't realize that, and he doesn't, and I'm about to get into it. But here's the video he released of his endorsement of Kamala Harris. You would think this endorsement would be filled with all the accomplishments and praise, and here's what Kamala Harris is going to do. But no, it's just Donald Trump is racist. Play the clip.
All right. Heck yeah. It's cool. Black guy. That's one of my buddies. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
No, I'm not a racist.
They're taking black jobs now.
The whole country's going to be it'll be like Detroit.
A lot of it's about the genes, isn't it? Don't you believe?
They're poisoning the blood of our country.
Troublemaker. These are troublemakers. Look.
I love the old days, you know? Do you know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Now, if you had one really violent day, like one rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately.
But we're going to indemnify
police officers and law enforcement from being destroyed by the radical left. You're changing history. You're changing culture.
Of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need.
Everything in that is a lie. Everything in that is a distortion. LeBron James is really stupid. LeBron, let me say it more clearly or cleverly. LeBron James can't read the room. If you can't read, it should be no surprise that you can't read the room. That's what this all is an example of. This big, dumb jock comes out with, this political endorsement of Kamala Harris, and he's thinking, wait till people see this. Look at this video I had my team of third graders put together at my I Promise school, where, according to all the test scores, my school, the kids can't read there either. But he had a group of children put together a video taking Donald Trump out of total context. The ending clip where I hate these people, man, that looks 20, 25 years old. We have no idea what Donald Trump is even talking about there, but he's trying to push it off as if he's talking about today. But I'm not surprised that LeBron James can't read the room, because he can't read. And I say that in all seriousness because LeBron James thought he did something extremely powerful, extremely influential last night when he puts out his endorsement. And I'm just like, LeBron, have you not wet your finger? Can you not see what direction the wind is blowing? ESPN has refused to cover this. He puts out this hyperbolic rip job on Donald Trump, endorses Kamala Harris. ESPN has yet to write a story about it. The New York Times wrote a story about it. USA Today, I just read, where Michael Freeman wrote an opinion piece about it. But ESPN, nothing. Best I can tell, none of the talk shows, Stephen A. Smith, they won't touch it. LeBron can't read. He can't read the room. It's over, buddy. Haven't you seen what Jeff Bezos has done? Haven't you seen what Elon Musk has done? Haven't you seen what Mark Zuckerberg has done? Haven't you seen what Disney and Bob Iger are doing? Trust me, if they thought Kamala had a chance, Bob Iger and ESPN, he would tell his little puppets, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp and Elle Duncan and all the rest of them, Malika Andrews, yeah, let's all lean into LeBron James's stupid, ridiculous, slanderous, potentially libelous statement about Donald Trump. But they haven't done it because even Disney and ESPN can read the room. All of this race baiting, all of this, Donald Trump's a racist. It doesn't work. No one cares. Everybody knows it's a lie. The room has moved. LeBron can't read. And I say that in all seriousness. Let me refresh your memory. Here's LeBron James talking about Malcolm X's autobiography that he pretended to read, but when asked a question about Malcolm X, it became clearly obvious, dude can't read, hasn't read, it's a gimmick. Play the clip.
Taylor, you want to follow up?
Yeah. So you're holding the autobiography of Malcolm X along with Alex Haley. I don't know how far you are into the book, but what's your biggest takeaway so far?
I kind of just started a couple days ago, but I've read and a lot of notes over the years. It's my first time actually reading this from start to finish. But just a very smart man, very smart man. and basically his words in the 60s, and what was going on is actually what's going on today still. Him understanding how powerful the Negro can be. He used that word a lot. How powerful we are, but we have to unite, and we have to be together. We have to stand strong, because there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be things that's going to be thrown at us where they try to weaken us. They try to make us feel like we're not kings and queens, and it's going to come from all different races and different shapes and sizes and things of that nature. Just a very powerful-minded gentleman, and it's unbelievable to kind of read something that's coming directly from him.
He can't read, and it sounds like, I know many of you, oh, how dare you, LeBron's worth X amount of dollars, and he started a school, and there you go, killing another black man. This guy is dangerous. That level of stupidity, being celebrated and promoted and being put out there in a way to try to influence kids, he's dangerous. He's a great basketball player. Let's all watch LeBron dribble, dunk, and shoot the basket, and let's applaud him for that. But this guy is so dumb. It's embarrassing. The people that take him seriously, and even his supporters, someone like ESPN, they know how dumb he is. They know he can't read the room. They know he can't read. And so they're trying to pretend like, hey, this didn't happen last night. LeBron didn't put this tweet out. He didn't put this video out. Let's just ignore it and hope that it goes away. Hey, LeBron, did you see Caitlin Clark and Patrick Mahomes? Two people with functioning brains who can read. Did you see them say, nah, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do when it comes to voting? Gather your own information and make your own decision. That's what smart athletes are doing, because they can read the room. This whole race-baiting gimmick of yours, that everyone, all this Jussie Smollett, they put graffiti on my garage door. Oh, it's just, I feel like Emmett Till's mama. It's all over. Remember, the ESPN used to sell this stuff. When LeBron said that, oh, they put the N-word on my back gate in my $20 million mansion in Brentwood, California, and there's no video evidence of it. We took it down before the police could get there and investigate. ESPN used to sell this garbage. And when he said afterwards that, yeah, I felt like Emmett Till's mama when I was in Cleveland and my home in California had graffiti on it, and my servants erased the graffiti before I ever saw it, before the police ever saw it, I felt like Emmett Till's mama. Emmett Till's mama lost her 14-year-old son to murder. LeBron allegedly had graffiti on his back gate. The guy is so dumb that he had analogized himself to Emmett Till's mama. And people were so into LeBron at that time that they acted like this was a rational analogy and statement, and they sold the lie. Here we are, I don't know, 10 years, 8 years later, and no one of any consequence wants to touch this endorsement of Kamala Harris because they can actually read the room. LeBron can't. He's an idiot. He has no idea which way the wind is actually blowing. The whole racial grift is over. White guys no longer care if you call them racist. They actually laugh at you. Black guys, like me, no longer care, I've never cared, if you call me an Uncle Tom, a coon, a cracker lover, whatever it is, I don't care. It has no impact. It doesn't affect me. Donald Trump, you running out there and taking him completely out of context and smearing him, I actually think he should care. I actually think he should use you and try to teach you a lesson. Donald Trump should sue LeBron James. That's how stupid LeBron James is, and that's why ESPN and everybody else are trying to ignore this, because they know that LeBron has done something libelous, slanderous, and defamatory. And they're smart enough, because they can actually read the room. They've seen Donald Trump file a $10 billion lawsuit against CBS over Kamala Harris's edited interview on 60 Minutes. Just so Donald Trump playing offense, being aggressive, drawing a line in the sand with the fake news media. He's suing CBS for $10 billion, and Kamala Harris wasn't even talking about him. I want to play you the clip of CBS edits this interview with Kamala Harris to cover up her stupidity and lies, and Donald Trump is suing CBS for editing, calling it election interference. Let's refresh your memory. Here's Kamala Harris's edited interview on 60 Minutes.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
So think this through, LeBron, and think this through LeBron supporters. He's suing CBS over that because he's calling it election interference, that it was clearly done to disadvantage him in this election process. She ain't even talking about Trump. Now, I want to replay the LeBron James video that is all about Trump, all about framing Donald Trump as this out-of-control racist KKK member who's going to take us back to the 1940s, 1950s, and 1960s. And you watch this and look at how distorted and how out of context, how intentionally distorted and out of context all of this is. And you tell me there's not a lawsuit waiting to be filed here. This is how stupid LeBron James is. Replay the LeBron James video.
All right, heck yeah, it's cool. Black guy, that's one of my buddies. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
No, I'm not a racist.
They're taking black jobs now. The whole country's going to be like, it'll be like Detroit. A lot of it's about the genes, isn't it? Don't you believe? They're poisoning the blood of our country. Troublemaker. These are troublemakers. Look,
I love the old days, you know? Do you know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Now, if you had one really violent day, like one rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately.
but we're going to indemnify police officers and law enforcement from being destroyed by the radical left. You're changing history, you're changing culture.
Of course I hate these people. And let's all hate these people, because maybe hate is what we need.
That's just incredible. Anybody with a brain can see, like, of course I hate these people is 15, 20 years old, at least. That's not, and who knows what he's talking about? Hell, maybe he's talking about pedophiles. Who the hell knows? But LeBron James is presenting it as if he's talking about black people, or the new slogan, people of color. LeBron James is so stupid and has so little understanding of the value of American citizenship, and that African Americans, black people born here, ancestors born, raised here, with long hair, he's analogizing us to illegal immigrants. Who does that? Who is this kind of stupid? Donald Trump needs to sue this man for his own good. This is, I sit and think about Hulk Hogan and what he did to Deadspin. And I know it's a little bit different, but it's, again, these high-profile people and these left-wing media outlets that just think, hey, I can do any and everything to anybody, and there's no consequences for it because I'm on the left, the whole system's rigged to favor me. And Deadspin and Gawker Media learned the hard way when they put out the video, the sex tape of Hulk Hogan, and he drew a line in the sand, backed by Peter Thiel, drew a line in the sand, and he put Gawker down. He put Deadspin down. He ended Gawker and Deadspin because you know what? I'm going to file this lawsuit and we're going to end it. That's what Donald Trump needs to do to LeBron James. Hey, LeBron, let's go to court. You've clearly defamed me. You're clearly trying to hurt me in this election with defamatory lies. Let's end LeBron James's career as a political social justice influencer. Let's reach into his pocketbook. Think of how many millions or billions of dollars they took from Alex Jones over, and I'll get myself into trouble, but I don't care, Sandy Hook. And Alex Jones said inaccurate things about Sandy Hook and allegedly caused these people great harm and impacted their lives. And the court system said, these people are right, they get all this money, and they've basically ended InfoWars over Alex Jones suggesting that Sandy Hook was a psyop. Alex Jones didn't go after any individuals. Alex Jones, I'm not going to defend Alex Jones for what he did there, but we do know, in my view, this multi-million, billion-dollar lawsuit is a farce as it relates to the real damages that Alex Jones did against those people. It was just a ploy to put Alex Jones and try to diminish Alex Jones and try to end InfoWars because he operates outside of the regime's influence. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I think what LeBron James has done here to Donald Trump far more damaging and defamatory than what Alex Jones did to Sandy Hook. And I know many of you won't get that. Oh, there were kids killed, and I get that there were kids killed, but they weren't harmed by Alex Jones, whatever it is he said. Weren't harmed. The shooter harmed them. The event harmed them. Look, Alex Jones's opinion of the event, stupid, inappropriate. If they want to sue him, fine. If there wanted to be some judgment against him, fine. But the judgment completely over the top and intended to destroy Alex Jones, way out of bounds. What LeBron's doing here to a man who has survived 2 assassination attempts, this is dangerous. This is harmful. This is damaging. This is LeBron trying to stir. The guy's already had 2 assassination attempts on his life, and LeBron's trying to throw fuel on that fire. And he's trying to destroy the man's reputation and put him in harm's way. This is the level of desperation of the left and the few remaining idiots who can't read the room. LeBron James at the top of that food chain of the idiots who can't read the room. And I wish that Donald Trump would file a lawsuit and put LeBron James, the social justice warrior, down. Make him shut up and dribble. That's what needs to happen. He's too stupid, too irresponsible, too immoral to just be running out here with 50 some odd million Instagram and Twitter followers and to be able to put out this type of distorted, lying, defamatory content. Needs to be held responsible. And I say that in all seriousness. And maybe that's the gimmick. Maybe that's the psyop. Maybe they want Donald Trump to sue LeBron James, and so they can say, see, Donald Trump's coming after his enemies. Donald Trump is trying to destroy his enemies. That's what we told you. He's an authoritarian. He's Hitler. Well, what is LeBron James trying to do? He's trying to destroy Donald Trump. He's trying to bait someone into believing this guy is going to kill black people, turn them back into slaves. Cops are going to be free to just kill black people randomly. He's trying to create an environment that takes another assassination attempt at Donald Trump. Sue the man. That's the only way to talk some sense into LeBron James. Make him have to go defend this garbage that he put out. LeBron is so stupid on so many different levels. Just think of what he's done, again, to his own reputation, to his ability to be an effective pitch man for Nike. And so what's the motivation here? He's now created more animus towards himself, which is going to create more animus towards his privileged son, that he's nepotism. I'm trying to turn nepotism into a verb, but he's pushed into the NBA unfairly. He's created more heat for his son. What's the motivation here? And I'm sorry, I gotta go here. Because everybody's going here. A lot of people are like, it's so stupid what LeBron is doing. And it's so obviously stupid what LeBron is doing. Everybody's like, what is the motivation? Is it Diddy? Is it Diddy? LeBron James is famous for, a quote, ain't no party like a Diddy party. He's been pictured at Diddy parties and friends with Diddy and the whole 9 yards. And Diddy sitting in prison right now, awaiting a trial on sex trafficking and all of that. And LeBron James loves to parade around as the godfather and caretaker of hip hop. Oh, let me have Drake come on the show, The Shop, and Drake's gonna kiss my butt. And he wants to make it clear that he sits atop the culture, LeBron James. He's the kingmaker of the culture. And so, bottom line, he's saying, yeah, I climbed into bed with all the hip hop people. The culture that kills each other, the culture that seems to be involved in a lot of gay activity, the culture that promotes disrespect for women, the culture that celebrates the killing of black people, the culture that celebrates drug dealing, and the culture that ran through Russell Simmons, Diddy, Jay-Z. I'm right in there with those guys. I'm the boss of bosses. Any chance LeBron James gets to flex his muscles about what a hip-hop guru he is and all his history with hip-hop, he does it all the time. And let me give you just one example. When the dude with the name Takeoff, he's part of Migos or whatever. These clowns and their names. But when Takeoff died, LeBron James couldn't wait to, eulogize Takeoff in a press conference and talk about how upset and sad he was and talk about how he grew up and showing off just how stupid he is. Listen to LeBron James. This is about a year and a half ago, whenever Takeoff got killed. It's hard to keep pace with these rappers and when they get shot and killed about every other week. But anyway, here's LeBron James talking about Takeoff.
To get your thoughts on what he meant to the culture and what he means to you too as well.
For me, I've been listening to those guys for so long. I was listening to those guys my first year with the Heat in 2010. And you can ask any one of my teammates back then, they had no idea who the Migos was. They were like cursing me out when I would play it throughout the weight room or play it throughout the locker room. I was like, I'm telling you, these guys are next. I'm letting you know right now these days, like, turn this off. Nobody want to hear this. It's another hit for our community. In the black community, there are like 3 people outside your household that you kind of look up to for inspiration. Those are athletes, there's musicians, and then there's, unfortunately, when we're growing up, it's the neighborhood dope boy that you look for inspiration. And that's the unfortunate part, but they drove nice cars and wore nice things and things of that nature, so you didn't know no better.
Could you imagine? I mean, this is LeBron at 38, 39 years old. He's got kids. Could you imagine giving a press conference and talking about, when I was growing up, that's who you looked to for inspiration. Musicians, rappers, and the dope boy. That really? Really? And again, I get that LeBron lives in a bubble, and he's been blessed with all of this elite athletic talent. But he has so little, his view of the world is so narrow, he can only see the world through his lens, that 6'9" super athlete lens. He has no idea that 90% of men are shorter than 6'2", aren't blessed with a bunch of athletic talent, and have to look for other points of inspiration than just athletes and musicians and dope boys. Again, I'm from a different generation than LeBron James, but my parents were divorced. I had some athletic ability. I was a very, very good high school athlete. But I looked to my father. I looked to my brother. I looked to my sister. I looked to Jesus Christ. I looked to my mother for inspiration. And I get, LeBron doesn't know his father. I get that LeBron spent most of his time in a basketball gym. He's never read a book. He can't read. I get it. But there are people that can read. And there are other sources of inspiration. I just couldn't imagine being this stupid. And someone this stupid is capable of being immersed and caught up in Diddy's problems. Stupidity and what's going on with Diddy go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. The whole rap music industry is built around desperate criminal idiots who will do and say anything for a buck, who will demonize and sell young people lyrical poison for money. It's a group of idiots. You sit there and wonder how Diddy got in the position he's in. He's an idiot. LeBron James, how did he get in the position he's in? He's an idiot. Yes, he's athletic, and you get paid a lot of money for being athletic. But other than that, everybody knows LeBron James was 5'10", he'd be serving McDonald's somewhere. Not a mystery. Everybody knows you can live in denial and pretend like, oh my God, you know, LeBron, he's so smart. The man can barely put sentences together. But idiots go to Diddy parties and brag about it. And idiots who can't read the room or who are so compromised because of their relationship with hip hop culture, with Diddy, they can't pivot. They can't see that, man, look at Caitlin Clark. Look at Patrick Mahomes. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at Elon Musk. Look at Mark Zuckerberg. They're not allowed to make the pivot that everybody else is making. See, everybody thought Trump was dead, that they killed him in 2020. January 6th was the final dagger. And then they thought, well, if we can't, we'll put him in prison with the lawfare, then we'll shoot him with a bullet. Everybody thought Trump was dead. And the smart people realized, like, dang, we didn't kill Trump. I better pivot. LeBron can't do it. And perhaps it's a combination of his idiocy and not being able to read the room, but also he may be so compromised because of his relationship with Diddy. He's said nothing. Diddy is sitting in prison with all kinds of sexual abuse allegations. Here's the king of hip hop and has everything to say about every rapper in the world, but he has nothing to say about Diddy. He's pictured with him, partying with him. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. He said nothing about Diddy, but he's got a lot to say about Donald Trump. How much time do you think he spent with Donald Trump? You think he knows Donald Trump? This, it's speculation, but it's got to be, when you're trying to understand what's going on here, because LeBron's got handlers. Nike and the people that are paid to handle LeBron, his MK Ultra handlers, surely they can give him better advice than what he seems to be following here. And so you have to ask yourself, well, damn, his handlers surely had to tell him, but he did this dumb stuff anyway. Why? Maybe it's Diddy. Or maybe LeBron is just that stupid that he can't figure out that just throwing around the race card it just doesn't work anymore. And maybe if you didn't look at life through a 6'9" lens and through the Twitter lens or the Black Twitter lens, if you didn't, because again, Black Twitter will fool you, or whatever Black Twitter is, or Twitter will still fool you into believing, yeah, just call them racist and we'll all eat it up. And look, there are people that stupid, that filled with racial idolatry, that it still works. But it works on far less people than it used to. And everybody with a brain can see that. And everybody with a brain is walking back and walking away from the type of rhetoric that LeBron James spewed on Donald Trump, the type of foolish endorsement of a candidate at this point that stands no chance, Kamala Harris. And as I've said, and this is why I'm so optimistic, they know it's over. Their desperate actions speak to how over it is, and all they're trying to do is salvage the narrative that if Trump wins, it's because America's racist. And so this is just LeBron James doing what Barack Obama did, what the BET Black Summit did. He's scolding black men. You're an Uncle Tom and a sellout if you vote for Donald Trump. That's all they're trying to do, is salvage the narrative at this point that Donald Trump and MAGA is racist. They know Kamala's not going to win. They just want to be able to say, look, the Republicans and conservative people in 2020 said the election was rigged. The Democrats want to be able to say the election was racist. Turned on race. If 25, 30% of black people vote for Donald Trump, they can't say it. So they keep sending out their cast of idiots, including Barack Obama, to go out and scold black men and black people. You got to vote for Kamala Harris or you're an Uncle Tom and a sellout. Good luck. Good luck with it, LeBron. Good luck with it, the left. Come Tuesday, there's going to be a reckoning. And look, if I'm wrong, I'll be here eating crow, shocked, bunkered in my home somewhere, thinking about moving or whatever. But I don't think I'm wrong. I really don't. It is over. Men have found their balls. LeBron, find yours if you have them. We're going to bring in Steve Kim, talk some more about this. Before we get to break here, I want to talk to you about our great friends at Craft Co. There's nothing better at the end of a long day than sitting down in your favorite easy chair with a glass of your favorite whiskey. And hey, if it turns out that with every glass, you're helping to support a great American cause, doesn't taste any better than that. It's time to chart your own course with Flying Ace whiskeys from Craft Co. Inspired by generations of American aviators and proudly made right here in the United States, Flying Ace is not only making amazing whiskeys, they're also committed to supporting our brave troops and their families through their partnership with Folds of Honor. They're providing scholarships to families of America's fallen or disabled, and these scholarships allow families to begin to chart their own new course after experiencing great sacrifice. Flying Ace whiskeys are American proud because they're American made, and they're American proud because they're helping to support our heroes and their families. Don't wait around. Today's the day to get your own and see what all the fuss is about. Buy online at flyingacesspirits.com. Use the promo code America to get free shipping. That's flyingacesspirits.com. Promo code America for free shipping. Steve Kim, Korean Cosell, X.
I've been selling my stuff, hustling eBay, PlayStation car parts for little or no pay, so I can sit out here and watch the Titans play, stumble on home and rub my blue balls away. It's a damn shame what the NFL has turned to for fans like me and fans like you. Wish I could just wake up and Patriots red, white, and blue, but I can't. This football nightmare's true. Living in a Madden world with Lombardi sold. These cowards bound to feminists, Lord knows they all just want to wear pantyhose and control what you think. Want to vex you and mask you, and they don't think we know that they drink Bud Light too. Cause these players don't hit, might as well have limp wrists. Cause of these cowards bowing down to feminists. I wish sports media would look out for fans and not just Taylor Swift promoting her brand. Lord, we out in the parking lot, tailgating, grilling meat, and the obese just can't wait to eat. Well, God, if you're a referee and blind as a bat, Roger Goodell should grow a pair and give you the axe. We had Derrick Henry, we played ground and pound, but the idiot Titans chased our king out of town. Lord, it's a damn shame what the NFL has turned to for fans like me and fans like you. Wish I could just wake up in Patriots red, white, and blue, but I can't. This football nightmare's true. Living in a Madden world with Lombardi soul. These cowards bound to feminists, Lord knows they all just want to wear pantyhose and control what you think. Want to vex you and mask you. And they don't think we know that they drank Bud Light too. Cause these players don't hit, might as well have limp wrists. Cause with these cowards bowing down to feminists. I've been selling my stuff, hustling eBay, PlayStation car parts for little or no pay.
Yeah, 모두 다 빨리 박수 쳐 기다리지 말고 서둘러 Reason that I'm back is to feed you raps and I see that you are 배불러 So fly
All right, welcome back. Cosell, welcome back to the show. What do you think's going on here with LeBron James? He can't read the room, man. ESPN won't touch this story. Patrick Mahomes, Caitlin Clark won't touch endorsing anybody. Why did LeBron James do this?
Well, I mean, you talk about turning the page. He can. He's perpetually stuck on the first one. But, I think it's funny what you say about him not being able to read. I think it's apropos, given the fact that at his school that he owned and operated, right, he gets all the credit, no one can read at grade level. So maybe that's symbolic in many different ways. But look, LeBron believes this is his role. He may actually believe it. I don't actually have a problem with him stating his opinion. I think everyone should be able to do that. I wish he was a little bit more responsible and downright honest. What really came to mind, though, Jason, in light of what we talked about the last day or two, this right here is why people wanted LeBron specifically to shut up and dribble. He's not that intelligent. And I find it interesting that Crying Clark no longer has anything to say about an athlete speaking out politically. But again, any culture, any country, any community that is led by athletes and celebrities, I think is doomed for failure.
And that's, you're 1,000% right. LeBron James, again, we played the clip of LeBron James saying, like, when I was a kid, you looked to inspiration for musicians and athletes and dope boys. And I was like, holy cow, you're talking about a culture that's going to produce really horrific results. No one should be surprised. Perhaps, LeBron, you should be aware enough to say what Patrick Mahomes and Caitlin Clark are saying, like, hey, I'm no expert. Do your own research. Make your own decision. It just seems like such an easy layup. And because that's what everybody is basically doing, but LeBron, I maybe it's the attention whore in him that he thought he would do something that would put him in the news cycle. But I've been sitting here shocked of like, why won't ESPN touch this? No story on ESPN.com, no conversation about it. They used to love this kind of conversation. Why now are they trying to ignore it?
I have a question. What was a more inflammatory gesture or statement? Bosa showing his hat for about 3 seconds, right? Or LeBron James, who's actually a much more popular than any National Football League player, especially a defensive end, putting out that video. I just find it interesting. People, they throw this racism thing around really blithely, but this is a fact about Donald J. Trump. There was a time in the 80s that he actually got Lifetime Achievement Awards from the NAACP. And there was a time when I used to listen to hip hop before it completely got demonized. It used to be a badge of honor to be the Donald Trump of the community or the neighborhood. What happened? Like, why the sudden shift? I find it maddening, and if I had a minute with LeBron James, just 1 minute, because I really don't want to spend any more time with him and probably the feeling's mutual. You know what I would do? I would give him a few books of Thomas Sowell. And I'd say, you may want to get past page 1 of this. And then I'd actually talk to him about Walter Williams and not the guy from Maryland, the economist. I don't know what message he would take from it, But that's what I would do. I wouldn't talk basketball. I wouldn't try to change his mind. I would just give him a few Thomas Sowell books and just walk away and mind my business.
Steve, I think that's pretty lazy of you because you need to commit to reading the books to LeBron. Well, giving him a book, you might need to take a few hours. Yeah, read him the book, Steve. That's what needs to happen.
I mean, look, I don't even think he's the type of guy that reads the Cliff Notes. I really don't. I thought it was interesting when he brought out that Malcolm X book. I believe that was during 2020. And so obviously he's trying to do some symbolism. He's trying to be down with the cause. I've never really felt LeBron was all that authentic. But again, he's an athlete, brilliant basketball player, and that's what he should be held up as. I don't think of him as a community thought oracle. I really don't. I've never really thought of any problems economically or culturally that we have in our country, or in terms of, like, let's say the Middle East peace talks. I don't think any of us rationally have ever said, geez, I wonder what LeBron thinks about this. I think LeBron is very inauthentic, and I just think the preachiness. But you're right, though. It is interesting that he is the one guy that's going out there to this degree. But Jason, I'm going to tell you this again. Your confidence in what's going to happen in a few days is very, very unsettling to me. I hope you don't jinx this for the rest of us. Jeez, I'm worried, really worried.
I'm with you, Steve. I keep thinking of that play a couple days ago with the Commanders and the Bears with Tyreek Stevenson.
Yeah.
We don't need Tyreek Stevenson right now, messing with the crowd. Let's just keep our head down. Let's go finish like the kid last night dropping the ball.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm dropping the ball before I cross the end zone.
No, get into the end zone. Don't worry about the dance. Don't worry about the celebration. My perspective on LeBron is I think unique in this. I grew up in Cleveland, sports fan all my life. I think what he delivered to Cleveland was one of the greatest championships in sports history when he came back to Cleveland. We adored LeBron. I think you can't sometimes confuse power and richness with intelligence. And I think LeBron is challenged in that department. I think this is an Obama play. I don't think this is about Kamala. I think this is a coordinated post that I think was part of what they're doing leading up to this election. I think that he has had an affinity for Obama, so I don't even put it to Kamala. But the last thing I'll say is, I think this goes back to his reasoning for all of this is to try to outdo Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was Republicans buy sneakers too. Michael Jordan's level of adornment from fans across the world. This is a way that he can create his own lane. I think this is why he gets into it, and this is why I think he's doing what he's doing now. It creates more separation for him from Michael Jordan, and I don't think it's authentic. I think it's driven by these motivations.
Steve, I want you to react to that, but before you do, Michael Freeman wrote in USA Today today, we have to start talking about LeBron James in the same way we do Muhammad Ali and a handful of others who fight for progress, who fight hate and fight for democratic ideals, who fight for America despite its flaws. I do think Butter's onto something here in terms of, for Mike Freeman, another idiot, a dishonest one, inauthentic. But LeBron is appealing to that crowd who, think that LeBron is some kind of reiteration of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I mean, look, LeBron James is a leader and intelligent to very dumb people. If the goal is to appeal to the lowest common denominator of society, yeah, he's succeeding. But to say that he's Muhammad Ali, I've never gotten into that. I've never believed it. But I'm going to ask this question that I asked a couple days ago with Coach JB when you talk about what is real activism. LeBron has a lot of business interests. He really does. A lot of it in the corporate white sector. But how many jobs has he actually created in Akron, Ohio, a place where he hails from? A lot of these activists, the problem that I have is when they wag the finger at white America, they themselves never actually create an economy within their own community for their own people. And he does have, quote unquote, the resources. I see a lot of white corporations moving out of these areas, like Walmart, 7-Elevens are closing up all over. And there's a great vacancy and a void for somebody like LeBron to replace those businesses and actually create an economy where the dollar is recycled. They never do it, though. I think it's very easy to say that I have a great portfolio, but that portfolio is with a lot of white corporations. I think there's a real, I don't want to go Umar Johnson here, but it's the truth. So look, when you talk about Muhammad Ali, I think it has to be a more nuanced discussion, but just putting out this 1-minute hit piece where 2/3 of the country disagrees with them, I don't think qualifies to being some great revolutionary leader.
I can't, I'm going to take you here. You're wearing your Cosell jacket. The thing where it just falls apart for me is Muhammad Ali engaged with his critics, went toe-to-toe with them on college campuses, and had an entire shtick with Howard Cosell, where, yes, there was affinity, but Howard Cosell challenged him and they went back and forth. LeBron James plays 7-on-7, or he plays non-contact football or non-contact anything. He never faces any resistance. That's where the whole analogy to Muhammad Ali just falls flat to me. Muhammad Ali stood 10 toes down against all of his critics and would engage with them and disagree with them and could hold his own.
Well, Jason, let's go back to the bubble season, 2020, that very tumultuous time in American history. If you recall the NBA coverage, there was actually a lot of talk for about 24 hours that the NBA players, those strong activists, they were going to make a stand. They were not just going to be your entertainment. They were going to actually walk out. And I remember for about 20 minutes, I said, you know what? I would respect that. Now, that's actually making a stand. Remember, Muhammad Ali was banned from making a living for 3 years. But then reports started leaking out that it's LeBron that said, no, we got to play basketball. We all got to get paid. And quite frankly, I want to win a championship. Is that really that revolutionary? Well, thanks for being our entertainment during the pandemic, guys. Thanks.
Steve, I want to pivot, talk a little college and pro football, give our picks for this weekend's game. Before I do that, though, I want to talk to the audience about a product, a new sponsor that I'm personally using. I'm going through a home renovation. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. It's going to be my best asset. I own some other properties that I'm using home title lock for as well. I don't know if you guys have ever checked the title to your home. If you haven't, or if you're like me, you probably haven't, but you should, because scammers are counting on us being uninformed. And in today's world where everything's done through the internet, you need to take personal responsibility for protecting your biggest asset, your home. The FBI calls it house stealing, and let me tell you, this is a real problem. Here's how it happens. A criminal fills out a one-page document with your information, forges your signature, stamps it with a phony notary seal, and files it with the county. Just like that, your home isn't legally yours anymore. These criminals don't even want your house. They're after your equity. They take out loans against your property, then disappear, leaving you with debt and a legal nightmare to deal with. But you can take action and protect yourself. That's why I've turned my trust over to Home Title Lock to protect my greatest asset, my new renovated home. Their triple lock protection monitors your home's title 24/7, alerts you of any changes, and if, God forbid, you're a victim, they work fast to restore your title with no out-of-pocket cost to you. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and use the promo code FEARLESS for a free 30-day trial and a free title history report to ensure your home hasn't already been compromised. That's HomeTitleLock.com, promo code FEARLESS, or use the link in the description for 30 days of protection and a free title report. Take action now and protect what's yours. HomeTitleLock.com. Steve, let's get to our prize picks.
Mama Whitlock, what's your lineup? Mama Whitlock, what's your lineup? Pick more, pick less. Run your game, you gotta be fearless. Lock it in. Mama Whitlock, what's your lineup? Prize picks.
Perfect timing, perfect combination. Mama Whitlock and Prize Picks matched with my home title lock there. My mother's texted me during the show, asking me for the updates on my new house. She's the person that I'm worried about that home title lock is going to protect me from. Her gambling debts get out of hand. She could, worm her way into owning my home. And anyway, but on a more serious note, let's talk about this weekend's slate of games. And we'll start in the Big Ten. We'll start with college football, Steve. Ohio State versus Penn State. What do you see happening here? I think I learned my lesson. I bet against Penn State last week playing Wisconsin, and I regret it. I think Penn State knocks out Ohio State here. Steve, your thoughts?
Boy, if there's ever going to be a game where James Franklin breaks through that wall and truly becomes an elite team for that year, I didn't realize this, but I think the last 12 games that they've played, Ohio State's won 11 of them. And Penn State has an issue at quarterback. We're not sure yet if Drew Aller is going to start, but Bo Pribula last week did a really good job in the second half of operating that offense at Wisconsin. And just listening to some of the Ohio State podcasts, there is growing discontentment and pressure on Ryan Day that if you lose 2 regular season games with that $20 million roster, which has NFL guys all over, that's going to be an issue. There's 2 things here. Ohio State is very pedestrian at wide receiver. They have no threats, okay? I think that's a weakness on that team. But Ohio State, their offensive line is kind of in shambles. So it's like, which factor is going to play big here? This game is at Happy Valley, and you know what? I think James Franklin and the Nittany Lions, I do believe they break through tomorrow.
Hold for 1 second. I want you to correct yourself, perhaps, because I don't follow it as close as you. Ohio State's got this freshman receiver, Jeremiah Smith. And did you just say Ohio State has no threats at wide receiver?
No, Penn State. They are not very good at wide receiver. Yeah, now, Ohio State has NFL receivers, at least 2 of them. Egbuka, Jeremiah Smith, Tate. Trust me, they're good. But Jason, this is the one thing that's happened to Ohio State with all the money they spent. They didn't invest all that much in the offensive line. And their starting left tackle went out against Oregon. And if you look at the numbers, their running game has not functioned well since that injury took place. And they've had to shift guys over. And Penn State's strength, in my view, is their ability to rush the passer led by Abdul Carter. So I suspect it's going to be a low-scoring game. This is why Penn State brought in that new offensive coordinator, Andy Kotelnicki, to make sure that they have enough in the back pocket offensively to score enough. So I'm kind of looking at maybe a 21-24 type of game for Penn State, and hopefully Penn State can hold them to under 20. I wouldn't put my life on it, but I will go with the Nittany Lions here.
Let me correct or check my hearing. Ohio State's offensive coordinator, isn't it Chip Kelly?
It is Chip Kelly.
I'm hearing... Yeah, and so you were talking about Penn State's offensive coordinator.
Yeah, right. Andy Kotelnicki came in from Kansas,
gotcha.
Who's actually done a better job of getting the quarterback to play at a higher level. But look, Ohio State loses 2 games in a regular season. All of a sudden now, what many people consider the most talented roster in the nation, they are now suddenly on the playoff bubble. There's a lot of pressure here on Ryan Day.
Let's move on to, I like the low scoring aspect and I like Penn State. Let's move on to an easy, I'm sorry. Before that, I want to get your prize picks. Jeremiah Smith, is he going to score a touchdown combined rushing or receiving? What's your prize picks there?
I will say yes. Will Howard will throw a jump ball and Jeremiah will stab something one-handed and make another highlight reel play.
You're right there with Mama Whitlock, and I hope she wins so she can get out of my pocket. Oregon, Michigan. This is pretty simple. Oregon's going to win, even though I made this prediction Oregon wouldn't go through the season undefeated. But I do tend to think Oregon's going to win pretty handily here.
Jason, Michigan's offense reminds me of what Michael Jordan said, and this was in that book by Sam Smith, The Jordan Rules. Uh, it was Tex Winter who was begging Jordan to pass the ball to Bill Cartwright into the low post. And he said, Tex, Bill Cartwright could be the only guy inside the gym and he couldn't finish at the rim. Well, Michigan's offense could be the only team in the stadium at times, and I'm still not so sure they could score. So unless Oregon has like some sort of COVID outbreak, if that exists anymore, they will not lose this game. They're too well-rounded of a team, and they're a different team than they were when they struggled in September.
My mother, as it relates to Prize Picks, is predicting that Oregon quarterback Dillon Gabriel less than 275 passing yards. Agree or disagree with Mama Whitlock?
I think Gabriel is the one Heisman Trophy candidate no one's really talking about. He's a consummate point guard, gets the ball out early to his great receivers that he has outside, Tez Johnson and Evan Stewart. I'm going to say they go over. I'm a believer in Dillon Gabriel.
Oh, you agree with my mother's saying less. You disagree with Mama Whitlock. I'm with you. I think he's going to go over. I think Michigan's chopped liver here, or barbecue chicken, as Shaq would say. Let's move to the NFL. And Dallas has to stop the bleeding, and they have to do it against Atlanta. Yeah, they got to stop the bleeding, and they have to do it against Atlanta. I think Raheem Morris has done a really, really good job with Atlanta. I don't expect Dallas to stop the bleeding. I think Atlanta's going to beat them. I think they're going to control, they may win by 6 or 7 points, but I think they're going to control the game from start to finish. I like the Falcons here against Dallas. You say what?
I like the Falcons. They just seem like a more sound ball club. Look, we know what Kirk Cousins gives you week in, week out, season after season, and they can also run the ball. And one development with the Falcons that I love, they are now figuring out, once again, how to use Kylie Pitts outside, who's an absolute weapon at tight end. This is an offense that is going to do some great things the rest of the year. I like the Bird Gang here.
Man, we just got all agreement going on here. Let's see. As it relates to Prize Picks, my mother has C.D. Lamb more than 87.5 receiving yards. I disagree with my mother here, Steve. What do you say?
I agree. C.D. Lamb's basically the first, second, and third option in that pass game. He seems to get a lot of targets over and over again. And this is our great type of bet if you're getting blown out, because then it becomes garbage time. And then you get those empty calories, as I like to say. So, yes, I absolutely like the over this week for Lamb.
Oh, all right. So me and you finally disagree. That's good. We're going to agree here, too, I think. Well, maybe not. Detroit, Green Bay. I'm done picking against Detroit. I'm picking Detroit every week. I don't care who they play. I like Detroit over Green Bay this weekend.
Now, Jason, where is that game? Lambeau or Ford Field?
I believe it is. I believe
Lambeau.
Yeah.
You know what? I hate to do this, but I think they're due for a loss. I know that the status of Jordan Love is kind of up in the air, but they have also found ways, Green Bay, to win games with Malik Willis. I'm going to go with the Lambeau Leapers. I'm going to go with Green Bay here, even though I'm still very high on Detroit overall.
Wow. I'm a little shocked. Yeah, Detroit's not losing, bro. I don't. Their offense is pretty unstoppable. They're trying to prove that they can win without Aiden Hutchinson. I just can't pick against them because every time I pick against them, I'm wrong. Detroit is favored here by 2.5 points. Vegas agrees with me. I feel real confident here. Let's see here. Jared Goff, more than one touchdown pass. My mother says more that Jared Goff is going to throw 2 TDs. I'm going to disagree with my mother here and say that Detroit's going to win, but it won't be because Jared Goff threw a bunch of TD passes.
Asking Jared Goff just to throw more than 1 TD, I like that. Again, if you look at what Detroit has done the last 5 weeks since that loss to Tampa Bay, they're actually running the ball more. asking less of Jared Goff, but getting more out of him with that play action concept that Ben Johnson likes to run. So you know what? Anytime you say, can Jared Goff just throw 2 touchdowns in a game? I will take that number. I agree with your mother.
And here's the game that I think is the most interesting, and I think Vegas is most off. They got Buffalo favored by 6 points against the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are desperate. I think that Mike McDaniel's job's on the line. Desperate team backed up against the wall. The Bills are out front in the AFC East enough that they could have an off week. I actually like Miami here on the money line to upset Buffalo. I feel pretty confident. They got to be embarrassed about what happened last week. I like the Dolphins here.
You know, the Dolphins are the second best football team in the city of Miami that plays at Hard Rock Stadium, obviously. Jason, you know how I've been concerned about the Buffalo Bills wide receivers? They've kind of rectified it. They made a trade for a steady veteran. And Keon Coleman, the young rookie out of Michigan State, is starting to develop some chemistry with big number 17. I kind of like the Bills moving forward. And I like the Bills to win that game. The Dolphins, they're dead fish. Dead fish over there.
Josh Allen, my mother says, more than 241 and a half passing yards. I agree.
Yes. Again, they're going to keep working Cooper into the offense. Keon Coleman, good set of tight ends, couple swing passes out to James Cook. 240 plus, I'm with it.
Steve, I'm not going to let you go on my last topic for you today. I'm going to make you talk Caitlin Clark in the Unrivaled 3-on-3 League. Give me a second here. Yes, I think you're going to like this conversation, and I'm going to make you do it. So hold tight as I talk a little bit about the betting markets as it relates to the presidential election. Kalshi. We want to welcome Kalshi on board as one of our sponsors. We love you guys. Who will win the presidential election? Kalshi is the only legal Kalshi is the only legal prediction market in the United States. After years of working with the federal government, Kalshi got historical regulatory approval from the CFTC that enabled it to offer a new asset class called event contracts, which allow traders to take on positions on whether a future event will happen or not. Like with stocks or commodities, people can now trade on any event that has economic or social relevance to them. People use these markets to make money from their opinion, knowledge, or hedge risks they face. Additionally, when people trade on a question like who will win the U.S. presidency, Kalshi gets really accurate forecasts of whether the event will happen or not. Kalshi is already the most accurate forecast for a long range of future events, including economics, climate change, COVID, politics, tech, AI, science. Kalshi is the first legal and regulated place to trade on the outcome of real-world U.S. election. Trade with no fees and high liquidity on the decision. Election markets are currently free. Invest in your opinion about who will win and make trades from $1 to $100 million. Get started today with a $20 cash bonus after your first trade. Join today by going to Kalshi.com/fearless. That's Kalshi spelled with a K, KALSHI.com/fearless. Steve, yep, I'm going to make you do it, and Butter, you hop in here as well. This Unrivaled League, this 3-on-3 basketball thing that they're pushing, and I don't get it, I don't understand it, it's crazy, but now they've signed Aaliyah Boston, now they've signed Lexi Hull, and they're trying to do these things, particularly with Lexi Hull. She's not, I think this league's going to have 6 teams and 36 players, 3-on-3 basketball. Lexi Hull's not one of the best 36 players. So they're obviously just trying to put Caitlin Clark bait out here. The whole thing is predicated on, can we get Caitlin Clark to play? And Sports Business Journal is saying there's a 60% chance Caitlin Clark is going to play in the Unrivaled League. They're going to pay her, allegedly, more than $1 million. They want to offer her equity in the 3-on-3 league. I don't get it. I don't believe it. I wouldn't do it. She's got enough money. Don't associate, don't involve yourself. She's being pressured and bullied. Do it for the other girls. You know what, Caitlin? You've already done enough for the other girls. You got them flying private. You've made the league relevant. The WNBA has a future because of you. She doesn't owe these girls anything. I say just don't do it. Avoid this league. It's going to be an embarrassment. No one wants to watch Angel Reese play half-court basketball and all the rest of these. They're going to look, a lot of them, similar to Angel Reese, missing a bunch of bunnies. It's a bad look for women's basketball. Just don't do it, Caitlin Clark.
Boy, the money's good, though. The money's good, but no, it is, and money matters. Money matters. It's that famous line from The Natural when Roy Hobbs turned down the deal from that corrupt owner, and he said, hey, I like a buck as much as anybody else. Here's the issue. If Caitlin Clark is petty, and maybe she is, maybe she isn't, I would not play in the league to show how important I am. Because what really creates value? Scarcity. And when you make yourself scarce, that will up your value, and it'll prove a point that I am the straw that stirs the drink. The other girls can stir it, but they can only stir it bad, to take a paraphrase from the great Reginald Martinez Jackson. And the other thing is, Jason, I think she's a bit worn out. That's just the sense that I got. With a lot of pressure on her, leading Iowa to the finals, and then immediately jumping into another league. She gets played tougher than anybody. She gets blitzed all the time, picked up full court. In my view, if she's going to do this, I would do it down the line. I would take the off season to get a little bit stronger, condition yourself, and just rest. But as of right now, I kind of agree with you. I would right now just walk away from anything Unrivaled.
I think she's going to wait. I think this is something that could come into play for her. She gives me every indication that she wants to become the WNBA player that she's destined to be. She would want to win a championship. She would want to do better in the playoffs, see her team advance and become relevant in that respect before she's going to try to go down an alternate path. That's the impression I get from her. She sort of has the Peyton Manning mindset in my mind. And so that takes me away from thinking, I think this is all clickbait. They're just kind of leading it out there, getting some of her teammates involved. Caitlin Clark, I don't think will be suiting up for this league, much to your happiness.
Yeah, but I do think there's pressure. If she doesn't do it, it's like, oh, she thinks she's better than us. We were trying to do some, Breanna Stewart and Ephesia Collier, we were trying to do something, and she wouldn't support. And Collier's been one of the players that's been very supportive of Caitlin Clark. And again, appears to be best friends with Lexi Hull on her team. And then Kate Martin has also, the former Iowa teammate, plays with the Las Vegas Aces. She's agreed to play in this. But sometimes you got to be the bad guy. It would diminish Caitlin Clark, in my view, to get involved with this league that I'm telling you there's going to be more memes, more jokes about over social media. It's not going to work. People don't want to see this. The men are failing with the big three. There's no appetite out here to watch people play 3-on-3 basketball. We're just developing an appetite to watch women play 5-on-5 basketball. Why get out here with a bad product and associate yourself with something that's going to be this big of a flop? Somebody in her camp needs to come up with some injury that she has and why she can't play. She have mono, something. Somebody needs to come, I caught COVID. I can't play. Somebody, I got pregnant. I can't play. Somebody needs to come up with an excuse to get her out of this.
Yeah, here's the issue. What type of arenas is this league going to be in? High school gymnasiums? Without Caitlin Clark, and specifically Caitlin Clark games would be about the only things that would draw. I mean, let's go back here to the WNBA. There were times when teams would have to rent out bigger arenas specifically because of one player and then go back into the matchbox for the next game. I'm with you, Jason. The 3-on-3 with men, it's okay. I support the business. I support the enterprise. But as someone that barely watches the NBA, if ever, I never said to myself, you know what, I want to watch 3-on-3. This is like the National Football League going through its season and them trying to start a spring football league, which has been done for about 20 years now. None of it has really worked. And I don't mean the USFL in its original form. I'm talking about the XFL and the other stuff that they've done. So I don't even see. Yeah, I don't know where in the world there's appetite for this.
The analogy is, Steve, it's the NFL Pro Bowl flag football game. And
right.
That's what this is. It's not real football. This isn't real basketball. And it doesn't have, like, the NFL, because their players actually are stars and have a following, they can pull off this garbage flag football Pro Bowl stuff and draw some people. But this here will not draw anything. It's going to draw laughs is what it's going to draw. It's going to make women, it's just a bad idea all the way around. It's a money grab. TNT and the other idiots that are financing this, it's a way of, I guess, just handing these women money, and maybe that's all this is. It's just some sort of feminist money laundering scheme.
Jason, I believe this is going to be interesting. This is where I don't want her to play at all, because the very same media outlets that'll claim that the ascension of the WNBA and the revived interest and the increased television ratings and everything else was not about one person. When this thing fails like New Coke, they will blame the absence of one person. The same one, Caitlin Clark.
And if she gets involved and it fails, they'll blame Caitlin. Well, I guess Caitlin Clark's not as powerful as we thought. I guess Caitlin Clark isn't the big deal that we thought. Look at this failed league. She needs Asia Wilson and everybody else to be successful.
As a marketing director for the new league that I might be, I would suggest we get Shaq to be in charge of what uniforms they're going to wear in this league, because that could be a completely different element we're not thinking about.
Well, then I'd go make them play. There'd be more interest. Well, I don't know about WNBA players.
Oh, boy.
And those outfits. I was going to make them play, make them play beach volleyball, but I don't know if I want to see that either. Yeah, I don't think I want to see that either.
I got you guys. Don't worry, I got you guys.
All right, well, Steve, enjoy your weekend. Who's Miami cheating this weekend, Steve?
Oh, are you kidding me? The Miami is playing their fellow scholars of Duke University, and it's great that ABC, not only did they put their number one team led by Joe Tessitore, they're putting that game at 9 a.m. Pacific, so they're getting the main event out of the way, and the rest of the games, just a bunch of walkout bouts. So, yeah, there we go. 9-0.
I'm traveling over to Memphis tomorrow to take care of some business and connect with some people. And
careful over there in Memphis.
Dion's got a bye week, so I don't have to pay as much attention to college football this Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. Steve, have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Shemeka Michelle, what's popping in the chat? Next. Where did Ryan Clark go to college? Because I think he has a master's degree in false equivalence. I mean, literally, you can't convince me or any rational person that saying I'm voting for Trump, how is that comparable to taking a knee during the national anthem and basically saying, hey, America is inherently racist. It's no different now than it was in 1850. And again, like Clark is pretending like, hey, what we say, we're not denigrating America. But you just said that after saying, when was America ever great? So if you're saying it's never been great, you're obviously saying it was bad. And so you're taking a dump on America. LeBron James pretending and tweeting out that, oh, you just can't even go outside without getting shot by the police. That's completely different than someone saying, hey, I'm voting for Trump. No different than, and someone tweeted this, Steph Curry, he endorsed Kamala Harris. Ryan Clark had nothing to say. Greg Popovich takes a dump on Donald Trump every chance he gets. Haven't heard Ryan Clark on that. Brittany Griner wore a Kamala Harris t-shirt. No comment from Ryan Clark. The Seattle Storm, the whole team, put out an endorsement of Kamala Harris. No comment. All right, time to find out what's popping in the chats. Before we do that, Shemeka, are you as optimistic as I am about what's going to go down on Tuesday?
Jason, I'm extremely optimistic right now. I just think that the wind has changed and people are really getting behind Trump. When I hear people around me that shouted me down in 2020 saying, you know, I'm voting with you this time, or going out and seeing my daughter's friends tell me the same thing, it just has really made me feel really good about Tuesday.
Butter, on a serious note, take my jinx out of it. Are you not optimistic?
I am optimistic.
Yeah.
I really, but it's that cautionary position. I think he's coming in strong. I like where it is.
Yeah. All right, what's popping in the chats? How'd they like today's show?
They love today's show, Jason, especially talking about LeBron James. And I will say, Jason, these men are getting so effeminate that if you were around them and had a nut allergy, you wouldn't even be affected. I can't believe that he would come out with such a poor video the way that he did. But the people in the chat sounded off. They had so many different variations of his name that I couldn't even screenshot them all, but I wrote some of them down. George Floyd called him La Simp James. We had La Woke, La Fool, La Stupid, La Dumbass, La Liar, La Diddy, La Diddler, and La Fraudulent. And if I forgot some, y'all, they were coming in so fast, I missed it, but they were going off in the chat, Jason. So
it's the chat was agreeing with me?
Yes, the chat was agreeing with you. Again, that made me feel so optimistic about Tuesday. I think LeBron James really made a mistake coming out to endorse her. As we said earlier, he had been very quiet. And now all of a sudden, here at the last hour, you want to come out with this foolishness. And it wasn't even a good attempt. People are really disappointed with him with this. So no, you weren't getting a lot of pushback in the chat. Not today.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Joseph Morrison sent a super chat. Thank you, Joseph. He says, you got into some heated debates on camera at FS1. Did a lot of those guys hold grudges off camera? And why did Stephen A. say Chris Broussard hates you?
Because Chris Broussard does hate me. That's why Stephen A. Smith said that. Chris... I mean, Chris has a racial idolatry issue, in my opinion. He's one of these super high, light-skinned guys that has to prove his blackness. Chris is a professed Christian, and I respect that. I've actually participated in some of his King movement deals. And so I just played. I didn't care really that Chris had a problem with me, because a lot of guys do, because I'm so firm in my position of not going along with the racial identity deal, and they use me as a way to appeal to the racial idolatry crowd. I didn't care, and so but Chris Broussard, no, he does not like me. He's super in love with LeBron James. LeBron James helped build his career. I was critical of LeBron James, And Chris, like a lot of liberal black people, think there's a great deal of value in leaning into being a victim of white supremacy, and I don't see any value in it. But, I think Chris is well-intentioned, but like a lot of people has a racial idolatry issue. But anyway, did some people have a problem with me? Yes, because there's a lot of people that believe in affirmative action, believe in diversity, equity, inclusion, believe that black people are victims and that we should be given things because of things that happened to our ancestors. I don't believe any of that. And so some people have a problem with it, and Chris was one of those people.
Alpha Romeo 15 says Butterbox for merch store will sell out day one. So the people in the chat want some butter merch.
You know what? We'll work on that. And maybe I'll start wearing some butter merch myself. You know what? I want a hat. One of those skull hat that says Butterbox Anyway, yeah, we'll work on that. Next.
So lastly, Jason, there was a lot of speculation in the chat that people coming out were actually at Diddy parties. They were going back and forth about J-Lo. She also came out saying that she endorsed Kamala Harris. So what do you think about that? Do you think these are Diddy party goers coming out?
Yeah, and I certainly think that may be an issue for LeBron James and a lot of celebrities. Look, there's so much sexual immorality attached to the entertainment industry and the celebrity world that even if it's not related to Diddy, these guys all know what they've been involved in, what they've done, and what they could be accused of or could be found out about them. And so they want the party that seems to be most in support of sexual immorality to stay in power. I could never, everybody's watched the movie The Godfather, I'm sure. Huge fan of The Godfather. So eventually, maybe 5 years ago, I was like, I need to read the book, The Godfather. And so I did. And I've been watching the movie for years, had never read it. And so the movie does a great job of reflecting the book, but like all movies, it leaves some of the stuff in the book out. And I can remember one of the things described in the Godfather book, and I know this is fictional or whatever, but it's a depiction of what Hollywood is like. And so remember the singer that comes to Don Corleone's daughter's wedding, and he cries and he can't get the movie script. Johnny Fontaine maybe is his name.
I think that was it.
Yeah, Johnny Fontaine. In the book, they go into a lot more of Johnny Fontaine and his narrative and what was going on out in Hollywood. And there was a scene where he describes going to basically the Oscars and then going to the Oscars post party. And it was a scene, or what was described as like Don Corleone had a moral integrity that he required of his people. Again, obviously they kill people and do all this other stuff, but all the sexual perversion and stuff, like Don Corleone was against that. And they show this, they describe this scene of Johnny Fontaine at this post-Oscars party. He had just won some big award, I think, for that movie Corleone got him in. And he was expected at this post-party he won the Best Actor award, and he was expected at this party to have sex in front of everybody with the woman who won the Best Actress award. And he wouldn't do it, and he left, and it was kind of an outsider, and it was all part of like the culture he inherited, the mindset he inherited from Don Corleone and the mafia and all that other stuff. But I read it, I was like, dang. So in 1970 or whenever this book came out, 1960s, whatever, that they were already showing you in this book, and it's left out of the movie, that there's this sexual perversion element of Hollywood and the entertainment industry, big party. He's supposed to get butt naked and have sex with this act in front of everybody at this party. He won't do it. Left out of the movie. Everybody knows how sexually perverted Hollywood is. and it's left out of movies. Everybody knows who's running Hollywood. That's left out of movies. They don't want to tell you what's going on and what's behind it. So I've given you a long-winded answer, and I can't even remember what the question was, how I got there. But Shemeka, have a great weekend. Stay optimistic. The good guys are going to win on Tuesday. I'm fired up.
Got to vote.
Yeah, please. Tomorrow, we'll play her, and we'll see you next week.
Waiting for the countdown, coming off the breakdown, standing in line for freedom. Looking for a breakout, feeling like a standoff, nothing in life like freedom. Came like a fighter, striking like a ladder, making all these moves for freedom. I want freedom. No negotiation, my sister, no relation. We all just wanna have freedom. Sitting on the corner, never been alone. I'm breaking my back for freedom. Blessed, we are living, get back. We are receiving, all deceiving. We all wanna be free. We want freedom. I wanna be. I wanna be. I wanna be.